Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. R.I.P. to the King, Toby. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. Not Toby Keith. Toby Keith has passed away. If he's watching, if the ghost of Toby Keith is watching, what are we talking about? Shout out. It's Friday. The weekend is here almost. And that means I got Rusty with me. How are you, brother? You good? You ready for the weekend?
I'm so ready for the weekend, man. It's been a long week. I am grateful that today is Friday. Speaking of Fridays and the weekend coming up, man, it's weird. I only seem to get sick on weekdays. I must have a weekend immune system. Ba-da-cha! Welcome to the Daily Grind.
Wait. That would actually really got me.
It's topical, it's relevant, and it's funny. Like, it's the best of all worlds.
Damn you, Rusty. Oh, you know who's got a weakened immune system? Maybe the Warriors. God, man, I had a really good transition set up, and you just ruined it because the weakened immune system is the funniest thing I've heard all week. Oh my God! For those of you who didn't watch last night, we did have one basketball game, and it was kind of not. It's looking like this series might end up being the least exciting of all the series. I'm speaking, of course, of the Warriors Timberwolves series. Timberwolves won last night, 117-93. It's officially a 1-1 series. Steph is out, probably out for the unforeseeable.
Games 3 and 4, really.
Yeah. Games 3 and 4, most likely. They need him. I think might be the biggest. They need him like the Nuggets need Jokic. They they got nothing from this team. I mean, Jimmy on one leg is doing the best that he can. I think it's through all of this. I'm forgetting that Jimmy is hurt. But Draymond, was
awful.
3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6. He was trying to get thrown out of the game, trying to be the hero, and he's not suited for the latter, much suited for the former, and they're giving him a long leash because they don't want him to miss any time. It's really frustrating.
Yeah,
Kuminga was like the only person that played well, and Kerr has no trust in him whatsoever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and Draymond's out there just being angry all over the court and then getting mad at us for trying to paint him as an angry man. And it's like, bro, like, you're the one out there waylaying folks and doing your best WWE on the court.
Yes.
I mean, without Steph, we all this talk of playoff Jimmy is not playoff Jimmy this year because he had that bad, nasty fall on his hip and he's having issues with that still. You can clearly tell. And so this Warriors team is in trouble. They went 9 for 28 last night from 3 without Steph. You can tell they missed their floor general, their shooting leader, and he's kind of the only one that can build off of Draymond's antics and kind of take the pressure off of Draymond so he can at least contribute. And without him, they might be sunk. Ant turned his ankle last night. It didn't look awful. He kind of limped off the court, to me, looking worse than what happened. Like somebody came down and he had an inversion sprain, which is a much tougher ankle sprain. And if there is tearing there, it's worse than a lateral ankle sprain. But it didn't look that bad last night. He was able to come back and play. He didn't look his normal self, but he was able to play through it. I think he finished with 34 minutes last night. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen throughout the rest of the season, this series, because they're kind of beating each other up.
Yeah, they're kind of waylaying into each other. It's I really like this Minnesota team, but I wouldn't say they are the most consistent when it comes to executing properly. This is the team that a couple years ago, one of the guys missed some games in the playoffs because he punched a wall. I just and I love it. I'm here for it. I like this, but they kind of had they got everything they needed from their guys last night. I mean, when you're going to get 40 points from your bench, when you're just playing Nas Reed and DiVincenzo, I mean,
You can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Out of those cats. And then, you're still getting good Julius Randle. Like you're all kind of waiting on that to come to a crash like it typically does. But Julius Randle's actually not playing awful. I think he finished with 24 points in 33 minutes last night. Like he hasn't completely bottomed out yet. And so I think this series is at least going to go 6, but it's going to be kind of an ugly 6. Like I don't know that it's going to be the same entertaining 6 that we're going to get out of some of these other series. This one's just with all the injuries, and it's just kind of sloppy.
Yeah. And and you got to remember, this is what is this? This is the 7-6 matchup, right? Like these are lower seeds, and granted the West is hard this year, but I think it's important to remember that. Art, shout out Art, shout out Jalen, King Meeks, Craig, everybody joining us in the comments. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
If you're not over on YouTube, come hang out over there. That's where the comments are popping.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with Art. If Curry don't come back, I think this series Minnesota might win this in 5, but it's going to be an ugly 5.
Yeah, because we kind of like, without Steph, they still have playoff Jimmy and blah, blah, blah. Playoff Jimmy's on one leg, like you said earlier. And so without Steph, I think Art might be right. This is going to be a tough uphill battle for Golden State, who's not quite as deep as they used to be. They had, these guys that they could throw at you, they could run you off the court. And I don't see that right now.
It's Pat Spencer and Quentin Post right now. No shade to those guys, but like I kind of resemble Pat Spencer a little bit. It's like, and I don't. If I'm who the Warriors are relying on against the Timberwolves, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
And I know that about myself.
Yeah, it's fine. I made it this far for a reason.
Yeah, like I get it. I know my role.
Now, if Steph Curry comes back, this is going to be a different story. Just because this, for a multitude of reasons, if Steph comes back, this has like a narrative the NBA would love to see. Warriors down, Steph comes back, goes to the finals. I mean, you can't. The NBA would love that, but I think he's gonna. Yeah, this is a good comp, Jalen. It's the Miami Heat of the past few years with the T-Wolves, and if they need Jimmy to even be considered the Miami Heat of the last few years. So
agreed. It's gonna be. I don't know if Steph will be back for Game 3. I think Game 4 will probably be the most likely scenario if he can come back early. Hamstrings are so finicky, right? They said they're going to reevaluate in a week, and so that would put it after Game 4. Game 4 would be Monday night.
They play every other day from now on, right?
Yeah. And so with hamstrings again, like it's so easy to re-injure them that I could see him kind of pressing him a little bit to come back in Game 4 if they can reevaluate. He's feeling good. But even in a grade 1, hamstrings are so finicky. And if you've ever had a hamstring strain, you know how easy it is to kind of do it again and do it again.
He's 37 too.
And he's 37. He's not going to heal like he did 10 years ago. So this is going to be interesting to watch if he can come back. But I agree, without Steph, this team might be cooked.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's the series as it stands right now. We got two teams that are up 2-0 and 2 teams that are 1-1. We got 2 games tonight. We got Cavs Pacers. They're back in Indiana.
That's going to be electric, man.
Dude, I'm excited for that. Cavs better. I mean,
they got to show up, man.
They better show up. If Indiana wins this is going to be wild. I
haven't heard if any of their players are going to come back. I don't know. Like Garland, Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter, they clearly need them. Yes. If Ty Jerome's going to shoot like he did the other night, I hope they wear their city edition, like the old, like the splash graffiti look. It looks so good. That place is going to be rowdy tonight at 6:30.
It's one play. I've never been to a game there. It's all I've heard. Because it's built only for basketball, and I want to go. It's close. I mean, it's close-ish. Like I need to put that on my list.
Because like it always seems so loud, and they're always so into the games, even not playoff games. And the way Hallie's playing right now, that man, they like Indiana's playing with all the confidence in the world. If Cleveland's going to win tonight, they're going to have to put this team to bed early, because if you give them any shot, they've got all the confidence that they can come back no matter what.
Yeah, Jalen, Pacers in 4. You might be right, brother. This Pacers team's fun to watch. I mean, everybody they play is fun to watch. We also got Thunder Nuggets tonight. It's back in Denver. We'll see.
I mean, it was cute that Denver got a win in Game 1. They might steal one at home, but this Thunder team's gonna put them to sleep quick, man. They're just too good.
Denver's playing 6 dudes. Denver's playing 6 dudes, and the 6th dude is Russell Westbrook, and the guys coming off the bench for the Thunder are Isaiah Joe and Kason Wallace, and who's the other guy that torches us all the time? They've got 3 dudes. If they got their 3 or 4 dudes that are coming off the bench making their shots, you're not beating them.
And then and then Michael Porter Jr. looks like his controller's dying every night he's out on the court. Like he's just like, it's just not going well for him right now. And so I don't know what the line is. I haven't seen. I was going to look it up. I don't know what the line is, but I'm going to take Oklahoma City to hammer, and I'm going to take the over. I'm going to hammer Oklahoma City and the over in this game.
Let me see what the money line is. What we want the total? Wait, what is this? I don't understand the spread.
So I see the total. What's the spread?
OKC is favored by 5.5.
Oh, absolutely. Oklahoma City wins by at least 10 points, and the over under is at 233.5. They might get most of that by themselves tonight.
Man, yeah, God, you're right.
That's awful low for this game.
That is awful low.
Like in Denver, that altitude, you get some lower scoring games at times, but not tonight, man. Oklahoma City's going to boat race this Nuggets team.
I think you're right. Enough talking about OKC. We're going to introduce a new segment. A new gimmick, I guess. Segment gimmick. I don't know. This is something that we will be revisiting as the playoffs continue. It is called rebooting or retooling. You don't have to say it like that if you don't want to. I like to say rooting or tooting, but it's rebooting or retooling. We are going to go through all the teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. We're not going to do this all at once because there's a lot already. We're going to go west. We'll talk east some next week, and then as the playoffs go on, we're going to talk about this other teams. But the goal of this exercise is we're going to look at the teams eliminated and discuss if they should A, reboot, or B, retool around what they have. And I just want to start out with the Grizzlies because we are a Grizzlies show, and then we'll go through the other teams. Now, we will continue discussing this topic in detail on other shows. We've already talked about it. We talked yesterday, I think, about how they could retool around the core three if they wanted to. But what do you think this Memphis Grizzlies should do?
So that's hard because
what do we think they should do or what do we think they will do is two very different things.
Yeah. I'm going to say both as retooling. I think I'm going to lean a little bit more retooling. I know I've been high on this Sabonis trade, and I still like that's like if that move happens, like let's go. Like it's a bit of a reboot because you got to move a core three for it. But look, I'm going to lean in more of the retooling category there, partner, because I think you can package together in a way that you can retool this team is you can package a couple guys together and make it work with Brooklyn for Cam Johnson. You can get some other little filler pieces here and there, maybe a Kobe White from Chicago, another ball handler. And I think you can make it work without moving one of the core three. So I'm going to go retooling for the Memphis Grizzlies.
You said Kobe White. I love Kobe White. Yeah, King Meeks agrees with you, but he thinks it's going to be second rounds of retools.
I mean, yeah, like, and here's the thing, like there's two different ways we can retool. There's a way to retool that makes us better, and that's by adding some pieces, right? That's like going getting a Cam Johnson or a Herb Jones or something like that. But retooling as your summer acquisitions being Santi Aldama and Marvin Bagley III, that ain't retooling, partner. No, like at that point. It's crash out,
repooping.
That's it.
That's a whole nother.
We need like you and I've talked about Frog and Toad. Like we need like little Toad over here in the corner, like with the cowboy outfit on. You know what I'm saying?
Where he's just like, it ain't good.
It ain't good.
Yep. I agree with you.
Hold on, partner. I'm overstimulated.
Just throw different graphics at Love it. I think I agree with you. I think that. I also think that's the most likely option to happen based on what we know from this team. I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm kind of like I'm wrapping my head around it. So that way when it happens, I'm okay with it. Because like obviously, man, I would love to turn, I love Desmond Bane, but would love to turn Bane into Sabonis, Keegan Murray, something like that. But if we can keep Desmond Bane and we can retool around him, like that's the ideal scenario, but you have to do it the right way.
Yes.
I want us to go get a Cam Johnson, Herb Jones, somebody in that like territory. But I'm also kind of preparing for Zach Kleiman to run out Santi Aldama and Marvin Bagley III as our summer acquisitions and be excited about it. And it's just like those two things are not the same.
That's
two different versions of retooling. Exactly.
You need to be able to retool to win, not retool to stay the same.
That's it, man.
We're going to say retool so many times this episode. I'm going to be tired of it. The next team, we're going to go. These are in alphabetical order. Don't at me, anybody. I don't want to talk about the Mavericks first. After the Grizzlies, I just didn't know oh my God, they're not in alphabetical order. Well, now they are. Okay. My brain just almost crapped its pants. Dallas Mavericks. Should they reboot or should they retool? Because they're in a weird situation right now with they're just tough.
Honestly, if you can turn Anthony Davis into some picks and some younger players, I think you reboot.
Yeah.
you hit reset. You've already hit reset somewhat by moving Luka, and you've got now AD, you've got Gafford, you've got Lively, and of those three post players, only one of them has a lengthy injury history and years and years and years of it. I know Gafford and Lively have been a little banged up the last couple of years, but if I'm Dallas, I'm building around those two, and so I'm shipping AD out as part of a reboot.
If you can ship AD out and get some young players and have Kyrie come back from that injury and be like the captain of the ship, like I'm with you, man. You could really, I'm out on AD.
Yeah,
when AD is great, it's really great. But
he's made of paper mache, and so there's just short shelf life of him being great. Like Dallas got the AD experience in his first game. He was amazing in the first half. And then he got hurt in the third quarter and was out for a couple of weeks in the fourth quarter. Like he got the full AD experience, and that's just what it's going to be. And then you've got younger bigs who can play a similar style in Gafford and Lively. Maybe you only keep one. Maybe you move one of those as well and try and rebuild around like who they're going to build around. Dinwiddie. I mean, they don't really have like that like cornerstone piece. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Dallas is they put themselves in a weird situation because they don't have Luka anymore. Kyrie's going to be out for the foreseeable future with that knee injury. So I think it's time for a reboot in Dallas.
Yeah. It might be the only, thing you can do who knows? I don't know why I wanted to talk about the worst possible franchise in the league right now, situation-wise.
They might be the only team with a goofier GM who's not going to do anything wise than the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get a pen really quick. And that's my Nico Harrison impersonation.
Exactly. Just fiddling.
Bro.
We know you're nervous, but calm down.
There are people in here. Jeez, don't do that. Moving on. Next team, the Houston Rockets. Should the Houston Rockets reboot or retool? I think this is I'm looking at the list of teams we're going to talk about today. This might be the most obvious answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's retooling, man. You just like one or two pieces here. And honestly, they don't need a ton. Yeah. I mean, this team is really good. They just are young. They got some playoff scars while they were in it this year against the Warriors. I think you run it back exactly like you have it. Reed Shepherd kind of got lost in the shuffle. Maybe he can turn into something for you, either as a trade option or something.
Third overall pick.
Yeah, I got you. And so, maybe he turns into something, but this team, I think in the way they retools, they re-sign Steven Adams, they get him back for next year, and then you just run it back.
Yeah. I mean, they've got Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore who don't play, who are really could be something.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And then you've got, Amin Thompson got way better as the season went on. And Tari Eason is great. He can go on the heater. You got Jalen Green, who's hot and cold, but when he's hot, man, we saw it this year. Like he torched us in one game.
Jabari, they've got a lot of guys.
They're so deep, man. Alfred Şengün is coming into his own as a great, NBA big. Like this team is dangerous as constructed. And so, I mean, literally just minor tweaks around the edges, re-sign Steven Adams, and this team is going to be great.
You also saw against the Warriors, how if this team just has a go-to reliable option, a go-to scorer, they're going to be quite good. To me, this is the most, I don't want to say obvious. This is the easiest Kevin Durant trade team. I like just if you're sitting down and you're on the trade machine and you're like, oh, what makes sense? It's just, this is the one that's easiest to do. I don't want to.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to bring it up. I'm glad you said that. It is, but could we see another Phoenix Suns situation? Think about it, Luke. The Suns were in the NBA Finals. They were just a minor tweak is all they needed to do, and they hit reset to get Bradley Beal and get some of these big pieces to come in, and it completely screwed up the culture and set them back as a franchise. And so could the Rockets be doing the same thing by shipping out some other young players and picks for Kevin Durant? Sure, maybe it makes them better and gets them in the finals, but it could also wreck that culture, and we see the exact same thing happen that happened to Phoenix. Now, as a Grizzlies fan, I would love that. That would be an ideal scenario for me. But I'm just saying, as a Rockets fan, that would make me nervous after watching what happened in Phoenix.
Yeah, I am. Out of all these teams, I'm also, if I'm a Rockets fan, I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm probably the most nervous because they got so many exciting young pieces that are I love this. I got a lot to work with here. And it's just. And
if it's me, I'm looking at like, yeah, having KD would be really nice, but I'm going to run this team back next year pretty much as constructed because they were the 2 seed in the Western Conference. They ran into a Golden State team that just has the experience and knows how to win in the playoffs. They got their lumps. They figured out what they have. And I think they just re-signed Steven Adams and run this team back. Man, because like they're not that far off. They're really not.
Yeah, and they showed it. They did a lot of the Grizzlies blueprint from a few years ago where get that second seed, young, one.
And yeah, like they could use some more offense. So maybe you push Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore a little bit more to see if you can get some development out of them. If not, you move it for a fringe piece, but I don't think you do an overhaul for a Kevin Durant or something like that. Like you just need like a fringe shooter. Somebody that can be consistent because that's what hurt them in the playoffs as well as their half-court offense wasn't very great. Yeah. If Van Fleet takes a pay cut and stays, great call, Art. That's a big part of it because his contract's coming up. And so I'll be curious to see what that looks like. But if I'm the Rockets, I learn from the Phoenix Suns mistakes and I don't overhaul this team. Because remember, they had some young pieces, and that's how like Cam Johnson got pushed out.
Cam Johnson.
They all got pushed out. Exactly. And now look, they're all sprinkled everywhere else. And Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson are also on other teams. And the Suns are further behind than they were when they made the trade.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Just a word of caution to the Rockets out there. Yes. I know they watch this show intensely. Thanks for your patronage, but yeah, just a word of caution.
I'm with you. Next team we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Clippers.
This is an interesting one.
This one's interesting because the Clipper curse might be real. James Harden, classic playoff James Harden game 7. I don't. Kawhi looked great. Zubac looked great. They've got.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to see this another season like we did of Kawhi when he came back. I just don't know. To rely on another season like this year of 30-year-old Norm Powell and to rely on James Harden, I just don't know. I don't know what you do with this team.
That's hard because you've got pieces you can build around in Zubac. Like he's going to be a great big for a long time, but then the rest of your
have to retool. I think they have to.
Yeah, like I don't know that you're in a place where you can reboot totally.
Exactly. Yes, well said.
I mean, like you could probably move James Harden, but nobody wants that contract. Nobody wants that James Harden. Like you're probably stuck there. Kawhi Leonard's not going anywhere. You're an older team. You're not going to get a whole lot younger. I think your only option is retool because you don't have the necessary pieces to do a complete reboot. But I think, if you any of them, if you can move James Harden, that's the move.
A 100 James Harden versus 1 NBA game 7 King Weeks. That's fantastic.
He's never beaten the allegations, man. James Harden is you talk about a playoff no-show.
Man, I almost feel bad for the guy at this point, but I think it was you that showed us the picture of Kawhi on the bench looking just shell-shocked at the end of that third. I mean, I will say this. I think the Clippers got ahead. They got ahead of the 8 ball by moving on from Paul George last year.
Yeah.
So I think this organization is smart. I just think they are in a really tough situation, especially since we've seen James Harden not once again. I mean, a lot of people were saying this was the team that was the most equipped to beat OKC. People were saying that all playoffs. They might be the best team outside of OKC. And guess what? If you get to game 7, it don't matter if James Harden's your guy.
Yeah, I'm looking at their roster right now. I still played Rodney Hood. That's wild. Anyway, they've got Kawhi Leonard on the vet max vet extension. They got James Harden, Norman Powell. Bogdanovich. Maybe you can move him for some pieces, but there's not a lot on here. Batum was good in the playoffs, but how much can you rely on the 38-year-old next year in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? This team is weird because they're very top heavy when it comes to age. Batum's 37, James Harden's 36, Kawhi's 34, Norman Powell's 32. Bogdanovich 33, so they're kind of top heavy, but they don't really have any great young players that contributed a whole lot.
Yeah,
this team is in a weird spot.
They've got one more year left of. No, Kenny, there's not. Sorry, Kenny asked a very good question. Is there a distinction between rebooting through free agency or rebooting through the draft? No, I'm just saying that the implications are different, but that's what we said. You might have missed it earlier, Kenny. We were talking about retooling to win, like retooling the right way. And we don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that retooling with second round draft picks is that per se.
We saw that exact thing happen in Memphis this year. We love our rookies. We love Jalen and Zach Edey, but we were counting on them to carry us into the playoffs, and that recipe does not work in the NBA. And so we're talking about retooling the right way through free agency, through trades, making this team like more like, what are we doing to make them win next year? Like, what can we do to make them a contender next year, not 2, 3, 4 years down the road via rookies?
Thank you for asking, Kenny. That was because I just made this up today. There's still kinks we're ironing out. The next team, this one's a little easier, I guess. The Los Angeles Lakers. Guess what? They're going to be retooling as long as they got Luka Doncic, because it's just like let's fill this roster out around him and see what else we got.
Yeah, again, they're retooling until he asks out, and I don't know that he wants to be in LA long term. I don't know. He's only under contract through the end of next season. So I'm curious what'll happen there. Does he stay in LA? Does he ask out? What does that look like? So actually, sorry, they've got him for 2 more years. They've got him through the 26-27, but he has a player option that year. So I think you just retool around him. You know, it's pretty obvious they're shopping Austin Reeves fairly hard. We know they've shopped Dalton Connect as well. And so, like, I think don't be surprised if LeBron James comes out over the course of the next month or two after the season's over and says, next year's my final year. I'm taking my victory laps, my swan song, and all that. And then they kind of piece around. They start looking for what the future is going to look like. So I don't know that the Lakers take a whole year off. I think they'll kind of tweak around that again, moving Austin Reeves, maybe DFS, Rui, somebody like that. Yeah, Jared Vanderbilt, see what they could get for those pieces just to make one final run around LeBron. And then it's time for a reboot, especially if Luka does not re-sign.
Yeah, they are another team that just needs more guys. I mean, JJ Redick played 5 dudes the entire second half the last game they played. Like they just
don't have a true big. Like they don't
got
have
no big. Jackson
no
Hayes?
bigs.
No.
Who?
Nope. Last team we want to talk about today, and this one's interesting because I know what's that? I don't know that GIF. No, it's not a GIF. It's a meme. I'm old. Forgive me. With Wolverine and the pitcher. I imagine that's you, but with DeMontis. Even though he's never been on, you just love him. I love it.
Every night when I lay down, I look at his picture. Love you, Maggie, but I'm looking at Domantas Sabonis.
So the Sacramento Kings rebooting or retooling. Or excuse me, the West Coast Chicago Bulls. Insert name here. What do you think the Kings are in a very interesting situation because they've already got weird. I see you, Edward. Yeah, I'm with you. Yep.
Yeah. I think like Domantas Sabonis is going to command so much from a team that needs rebounding, the Memphis Grizzlies. And you can get some picks and some young players from the Memphis Grizzlies to reboot this team and make them younger and play better for the Memphis Grizzlies. And so I think that it's time to blow this team up. Like they've already moved on from Fox. They're not getting any younger. Like it's time to hit reset. Go see what you can get for Sabonis and Keegan Murray, Malik Monk. Like move some of these pieces. And I mean, you've got a new coach. You got, Jonas Valanciunas is another option out there that can get moved. But again, like I think like it's time to reboot, hit reset, and trade Domantas Sabonis to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Man, that's people who are listening to this. It sounds like there's someone else talking. It's really great. The whisper, it's really wonderful. It's quite funny. So I think that Kenny brings up a good point here. I think that this all started when they started breaking up that Light the Beam team.
And Art gets it. Art sees the vision, brother. Welcome, man. Like Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray makes this team better almost instantaneously. Keegan Murray has struggled a bit since a good rookie season, but sometimes it's hard for those guys. It takes a little bit of time to kind of build up. We're seeing that with our own Gigi Jackson Jr. Gigi Jackson. But I think Sabonis makes his team obviously instantly better, man. And like the rebounding, the pick and roll with Ja, like it just makes sense. Yeah,
and they've got Kevin Huerter's gone, De'Aaron Fox is gone, Mike Brown's gone. Sabonis and Keegan Murray are left, and it's just they brought in DeRozan, they brought in Zach LaVine, who I like DeRozan a lot, but Zach LaVine might be the most uninspiring player. I'm with you. I don't know what's bigger than a reboot, like a nuclear explode. Like I think they need to go back to the drawing board, which is really unfortunate. So close after Light the Beam, and a big way to reboot would be to, I don't know, trade Sabonis and Keegan Murray to the Memphis Grizzlies, like you said.
Perfect. Catching the vision, seeing the vision right here, right? Because like you look at it, like picture. I mean, that's it. Like, you know, you've got Levine and DeMontis are on $40+ million contracts. Levine, like, he's just like, he's so uninspiring. Like, it's just, he's a very just blah player, but then he'll go give you like 30 on a nightly basis sometimes. And so, and DeRozan is getting older. I tell you, man, like, it makes sense. Keegan Murray's on his rookie deal through the end of next year. Like, it makes sense. Like, you get, like, say you trade for Sabonis and Murray, then you got a year, just like with Luke Kennard, you can decide what to do with Keegan Murray. You've got an expiring deal that you can move or you can re-sign if it works out. I don't know, man. It just makes total sense to me for Sabonis and Keegan Murray to be in Memphis next year.
Yeah, you know what I'm like, Edward, imagining those Sabonis Edey high-low action is lovely.
And just like the pick and roll, like go back if you're curious or if you don't believe me, go back and watch Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox in a pick and roll offense, right? Like it was feeding families. And Ja Morant is a better
Warriors
De'Aaron
to a game
Fox.
7. They took the Warriors to a game 7 that they would have won if De'Aaron Fox hadn't gotten hurt.
That's it, man. And like Ja Morant's a better De'Aaron Fox. And so I think I did the trade the other day where you can move Bane, Brandon Clark, and like whoever, Gigi or Jitty or something.
I mean, they'll want somebody else.
I mean, they're going to want a young prospect, and I love Gigi for sure. But like, I like your trade, kind of your thought art, but I don't want to move off of Edey yet because we're going to need some size. And so, because DeMontis is a 6'8", 6'9" center, like he's not a big guy like Edey. And so moving Edey to the second line and have DeMontis being your starting center next to Jaren would be, wow, because he's not a defensive hole. He's not a great defender, but he's not a defensive hole. Very similar like how Steven Adams used to be for this team. If he can protect the paint, you let Jaren play free safety. And the last time that happened, Jaren was DPOY.
Yep. And you know what I like when Jaren's DPOY personally.
Yeah.
That's all the teams in the West that have so far been eliminated from the playoffs. We're going to revisit the Eastern Conference teams that are already out next week. And then as the other teams go out, like when the Warriors are out, when the Timberwolves are out, or whoever's next, we'll talk about them. Yeah. I don't know, because these teams aren't picking in the lottery, which the lottery is Monday, which is wild. So it'll just be, we got to talk about these teams that are still in this thing, you know, and so it's important. But before we get out of here, let's talk about the weekend outlook. What are you doing this weekend? That's hard to do. What you up to this weekend? What is it? It's Mother's Day weekend. And my sister's birthday. It's May 11th. It's always it's on Mother's Day like every other week, so it's I will be calling my mom and sister, but I don't know. I'm kind of excited just to not do much. You know, my birthday is next weekend, or the Monday after next weekend, and I'm not going to be doing anything. I don't do a lot, Rusty. I'm gonna actually no. I've got an audition tomorrow. I went to acting school and I have an audition for a play tomorrow, and I'm excited for that because the character is from Northeast Georgia, and the whole play I think he spends tied to a chair. So we'll see how that goes.
Let's see how that goes. So if we haven't heard from Luke by Monday, just know he's still tied to the chair.
They were like, "Sir, you don't have to do this for your audition." I'm like, "No, I must.
I must fully immerse myself in the chair position.
I'm an actor, damn it." That's how I act. If you haven't seen
it. I like it. Oh man, so it's gonna be a good weekend. Maggie's got some busy stuff going on at work, so we're just gonna have some fun before she gets kind of swamped next week. So we're doing an escape room tonight.
Yes!
You know us, we love our escape rooms. It's more like a breakout kind of room. It's in like a haunted theater, and we got to figure out, is the theater actually haunted, or is it just the actors being like, you know, superstitious or whatever it is? So I'm excited about that.
I'm gonna be tied to the chair in the escape room.
Oh my gosh,
like, Rusty!
And that's the whole point, is instead of finding your way out, you got to get Luke untied. And then shout out Kenny. I see you in the comments. Uncle Buck's Friday nights. And then we're going to one of our favorite restaurants tonight called Coastal here in Memphis. Great seafood spot. And then tomorrow we're doing like a little farmer's market just to kind of walk around, do something fun, and then just kind of lay around the rest of the weekend. So it should be a good weekend. Yes, make sure you call your mothers on Sunday. Wish them a happy Mother's Day. If you don't have your mother, reach out to a motherly figure or somebody who you know is a mom that's doing a great job and wish them a happy Mother's Day. It should be a good weekend.
If I was a good host, I would have planned the live call my mom this morning and brought her on the show. I've tried so hard to get her to be a guest on the show with me, and she's like, Luke, I don't watch the NBA. And I'm like, Mom, Mom, it'll be so hilarious.
Hey, Mama Lee hopped on as a guest on my birthday. She was the special guest on my birthday episode when I was in Kentucky. So shout out Mama Lee, the GOAT. If you know Mama Lee, you know she is the GOAT. And so happy early Mother's Day to her. And all the moms out there for sure.
Happy early Mother's Day to all the moms watching. I don't know how many moms watch our show, but if you do, thank you. That's going to do it for our show today, y'all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some playoff basketball. Enjoy your loved ones. Enjoy your moms.
We also got to get a big series win. That's why I'm wearing my Mississippi State shirt. Maggie got me for Christmas. Hail State. They play Ole Miss this weekend in baseball, so Uncle Buck and I will be at each other's throats. I hope it's a big sweep. Mississippi State is getting hot at the right time. We need to get this win to get into the College World Series, the college playoffs. So go Dogs. Got to get a big sweep this weekend.
I asked Uncle Buck to hop on this morning. He ducked us. That's why. I didn't know. Also, before we get out of here, I think it's worth noting that the Pope is a Chicago Bear and a Chicago Cubs fan. I think that's important to know. We got the big guy on our side again.
Let's go. Already, like, the Pope officially hates the Cardinals. And so there's that.
Oh my
Twitter has been amazing over the last 24 hours since it. Like my favorite one is I sent in the group chat last night. The only Pope, the only American Pope I recognize is Kentavious Caldwell, and that sent me, man.
Yeah, go on Pope. The Pope internet right now is great. Go check it out. Thank y'all for watching. In case you couldn't tell what we're doing around here, there's two things we like to do. We're going to remind you to do them. Remember to be a little weird, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.